What's going on? Oh, add groove. Crazy. Hey guys, welcome back to the Emlyn in the Mix show, season 6, episode 27, as we roll along here. Today we are checking out iZotope's FXEQ, literally paint your sound. What is FXEQ? Well, it is a creative FX through the workflow of an EQ. So you can essentially pinpoint where on the frequency spectrum where you want a particular effect to actually alter the sound. Now, if you do like what you see here today, I will have a link for this FXEQ down below. Do yourself a favor, go out and get it while it is actually on the introductory price at the moment until the 15th of August. So if you do get to see this video or hear this podcast before the 15th of August, you will get a $10 discount. I'll have an affiliate link for it down below, and I do appreciate the support. Click the link down below to get yourself FXEQ. Simplify your effects chain with the equivalent of 10 separate plugins in one and say hello to brilliant sound without the struggle. So essentially they're marketing it as an all-in-one type of affair. Let's quickly just look at what effects are included in FXEQ. So you have saturation, you got a lo-fi, reverb, delay, modulation, and the list goes on. And there's pro presets included as well. I actually haven't checked out the presets yet because I had an earlier pre-release version that didn't have the presets yet. All right, I think we just jump over and check it out now. Here's my little track in Ableton Live where I'm going to attempt to use FXEQ here today. So let me just pull up an instant in my plugins. Here I literally haven't even loaded it yet. And I'm going to start with this bass line here. So there are some other sort of in-house effects going on here. I got some auto filter. I got an EQ down the bottom here. I think probably best we turn that EQ completely off, and I'll turn that auto filter off as well. All right, so here's FXEQ loaded on this very dry bass. I've turned everything else off and it's just got FXEQ on. Let's start by adding a bit of saturation. So essentially my saturation mix is here, and I can just move it around the frequency spectrum, and let's just see how it affects the sound. Okay, so if you hold down Option on your keyboard, you can actually solo the frequency bandwidth. So you can only hear that rather than the whole frequency spectrum. I'm going to hate saying that word on today's show, but check this out. I actually like that. Gives it a bit of a squelch up the top there. Now we've got our bass back in. Now see why I did roll off the low end. It's just a mixing technique, especially for bass like this. You don't need it, especially if you've got a kick drum going in the background. So I'm just going to put the EQ8 back on there, and then we'll just keep painting the sound. All right, might do reverb next, and then I'll work out the best place to have reverb. Actually sounds pretty good in the mids here. Interesting. Wow, that's actually done quite a bit. You can actually change the shape here by selecting down the bottom here. You can have high pass, low pass, bell, or a more precision cued. And you can actually widen it out here as well. And you can pull it back in the mix if it's too much. I can actually change the type of reverb as well. So there's chamber, plates. I actually like the whole. So what's cool about this already is it's not affecting the low end. It's not destroying the bottom end or the high end or where I don't want it. I can put the effects exactly where I want it. It's very nice. I mean, look, you could do this with conventional plugins, of course, using an EQ and the effect, but this just, I guess, simplifies the process. You do have a dry wet mix here at the top too. If you're not loving the amount you've dialed in, you can just essentially, it's like a master dry wet where you can just turn everything down. Like so. All right, let's keep going along here, see what else we have to offer. Let's check out modulation. I'll probably just have it here, and I'll probably just bring it back a bit. Right, here's my sound so far. Hopefully I haven't bored you too much with it. We'll add a bit of lo-fi as well. Oh, that's nice. Take up a slightly larger section of the frequency bandwidth here. All right, let's listen to what I've created so far. We'll bypass it so you can just hear how far I've come. There you go. It's quite interesting. And this is our result. Can bypass it on the actual plugin like that. You can just do FX only, which I haven't got any of the low frequency here. I wouldn't need my EQ8. That's actually cool because if you turn that on, it drops out all the out of frequency bandwidth. That's actually kind of cool. And if I turn that down, obviously you won't hear anything. That's a cool feature. Now there is a limiter on here as well. So if it's, it's too loud or it's peaking, you can turn that on. I did have some modulation inside Ableton Live 12, which I really enjoyed. I'm going to turn that back on. So I had some pretty heavy sidechain sort of modulation. It actually sounds really interesting with FXEQ going as well. I'll unsolo this here so we can just hear the full thing. Okay, the rest of the track actually sounds pretty terrible. Let's pop another FXEQ. I'm just going to save that there. And let's find the next sort of annoying sound in this track. This keyboard. This is recorded in from my Korg Nautilus. It's just so dry. I did have some movement on it though. And it makes it so much more interesting, right? Yeah, it sounds really sexy with that on there. But let's check out FXEQ, see what we have to offer. And this time, I'm just going to roll through the presets and just try and find something that, I guess it fits it. So if you go into your presets here, you got your different categories. We can go keys and synths, and we'll just go through and hopefully find something that works. Downstairs piano. Wow, that's really interesting. I might actually, we'll go through a few more. I really like this. It's got the reverse slapback type of reverb. Reverse delay. Nice. That's sick too. House piano spice. We could go effects only if you didn't want to use an EQ. That drops off the low frequency. That actually, damn. There's already two presets I really like. It's a bit hot. That's nice. Oh. Ooh. Drum loop, but techno. Oh, we got into drum percussion now. All right. I think this is the one I like. Oh, that's amazing. So we're going to go with that. I'm going to put my automation here. I'm actually going to put it at the back end of FXEQ. Actually, no. I'll put FXEQ at the end of the chain. Yeah, and I'm going to get that flippy reverse stuff going back. Sounds great. That sounds actually pretty damn good. All right, we've got a bit of movement in the song now. Let's hear it with that boring ass bass line I made. All right, let's put an FXEQ on our drums and let's see how this sounds. And we'll use the presets again. Just keep it nice and simple here today. Drum loop, but techno is our first one. A bit of delay, a bit messy sounding. We will just solo this off so we can just hear our drums. Ooh. What's going on? Ooh, add groove. Crazy. What was that? Is that just delay? Lots going on there. Oh my god, it's like doom techno. Gosh, I'm not sure. I mean, some of these are pretty hectic. I think if I'm gonna choose any, I like this one, but it's probably too fat, so we're just gonna pull it down. Dial it into where we like. It just beefs up that bass drum, which is really nice. We've rolled off most of the instruments. I mean, this is such a simple track. That's why I chose it for today's show. So if we unsolo that. And then what's going on here? We got some kind of synth line. Okay, this is basically, that's the same sound there. Let's just close this window here. I might pop an FXEQ on there just for fun. And this time I'm going to paint the sound. I'm going to find something cool. I think this needs some kind of delay. That's cool. I'm painting it. I'm Leonardo. Is it Leonardo da Vinci? Was he a painter? Sorry. I sucked at history. I actually really like this. And I'm going to double it up with some lo-fi as well. Ooh, I'm going to widen that out a bit. Sort of like a shelf EQ. And then if we just... Nice. What do we got down the bottom end there? Maybe we'll give it a bit of bass saturation boost. Ooh. Not bad. So I've sort of beefed that up a bit. All right, last but not least, I guess we'd check out this. We've got this sort of like synth line here, which is also from the Korg Nautilus. Gotta say, love the Korg Nautilus. Absolutely inspirational for writing songs on. I highly recommend, don't have to get the Korg Nautilus, but I highly recommend getting yourself a workstation at some stage in your life because they're just the best. They're like bread and butter. You can just jump on them. They have all different sounds, pianos, you name it. You know, not to promote one brand, but there are plenty of awesome workstations out there. And, you know, Korg are no exception. They make great workstations. All right, FXEQ on this thing. I think I've got some movement somewhere. I did have this. Oh, I do love that movement though. I love that. I guess as an FXEQ type thing, we could just try one thing here. We'll just chuck it on the end of the chain. And let's try this randomization feature, which you have here. Interesting. Straight off the bat. One thing I did want to say is you can actually turn off each individual effect here as well, and to get into the back end, and you can actually choose which type of reverb you want here, or delay, or modulation. You can actually just click on it if you want to get in there quicker, and you can turn on sort of like bit crushing if you have the lo-fi here as well. I actually really like what the DICE has done here. It's done a really good job. I guess it just chose one of the presets, but it kind of sounds nice. It says lo-fi drum loop. It wasn't a drum loop. However, I think it kind of works. Oh, another sound gets introduced. Did I turn that off? Oh, wow. Oh, like an arpeggiator type thing. I like that. I mean, you could chuck a... Ooh, widening it out a bit. Yeah, that widens it out. I love the effects only feature. That is very cool. Well done to iZotope. I'm gonna have to leave the video there. Absolutely enjoying this. Fantastic vibe. I can see myself definitely, I guess you could call it painting the sound. Like it's a lot of fun, easy to do. You can see here just with the simple track, how I was able to add movement, sound, and even width in some cases, and just really dial in where I want the sound or the effect to actually, you know, touch the sound or instrument that I'm using at that point in time on the frequency bandwidth. Absolutely cool idea, and I love it. It really is a bit of a Swiss Army knife in terms of plugins, because you are getting multiple plugins in one with FXEQ. If you enjoyed the video today, make sure to leave a like, make sure to hit subscribe before you leave, and click the link down below if you want to get yourself FXEQ. It is an affiliate link. I do appreciate your support. Click that link down below, and if you want to get $10 off, you got to get it before the 15th of August. So hopefully you get to see this video and hear this podcast before then. This plugin rocks. Shout out to iZotope. We'll be back next week with another video. Until then, thank you so much for joining me, and peace out. Bye.